Ro1 presents the pre-match.
Back into the action at ESL Pro League Season 8 Finals here with my boy Mac. We just saw a series between Vici and Renegades. Renegades were able to come out pretty convincingly 2-0 there. Now we're going to be moving our way onto G2 and INTZ. Quite a spicy series, and I don't imagine that a lot of these players have played each other since they were in much, less so with G2, but I'd say with INTZ in particular, much bigger name lineups, usually playing high stakes sort of matches in your major cycles or something like that. So should be a pretty interesting match indeed.
Yeah, it should be pretty top quality. I'm very excited to get into it and watch some top quality action. I don't think I've never casted these teams before, so you know it's definitely of a higher caliber than what I'm used to as well. So hopefully we can see some very spicy action here tonight.
I don't think I've ever casted the Frenchies myself, but a long-time fanboy of all of their antics in and out of the majors and a lot of premier tournaments. I've been following them since as long as I can remember, all the way back to very games and stuff like that. Bit of a tear to my eye. As for INTZ, though, casted a lot of them in the ESL Pro League. Plenty of action over there, and now moving our way through to the LAN finals. They managed to do decently enough for themselves to make their way through to these LAN sort of series. I mean, bit of a up and down sort of season from them. You do see their lineup there, a bit of a mishmash of Brazilian talents mixed in with some new blood as well over on G2, lineup that nobody is surprised to see. Plenty of established names there, but might be the last time we see this iteration playing together.
Okay, I'm excited. Kenny, you know, let's see if he can do what Grat was doing. You know, he used to be known to be the aggressive AWPer.
I think he was doing what Grat was doing before Grat was doing anything.
Oh, 100%. But there was that point in time when you did see him sort of drop off after the AWP changes as well.
Yeah, I think he's had a little bit more of a drop off as of recently. At least there's been a bit more criticism around him in terms of his individual form and stuff like that as of late. Personally, probably still one of the best AWPers, even in his worst form possible.
100%. You know, that's still at the top tier level in the world as an AWPer, right, in G2. So you can't be doing too bad there. Anyway, we are going to hop into the vetoes. So it looks like Train and Nuke have been taken out of the map pool here. No real surprises there. In starting on CT for Overpass. So that's G2's pick. And in taking Mirage. So we are going to see Overpass and Mirage. Overpass, pound it. You know, favorite map as always. Let's bloody go.
Yeah, the boys. Should be some pretty interesting stuff. G2 actually picking that one, which is not a map that we've seen French teams play too much as of recently. So that's probably a specific area of the map pool that they're trying to explore a little bit more. I've seen a couple of Brazilian teams play a bit of Overpass here and there. I missed what that last map was, but
Dust 2.
Dust 2, spicy stuff. So
Kenny's playground if we get to it.
I mean, I'd say this is going to be Kenny's playground as well. You know, any AWPer is going to have a pretty fun time on Overpass, I would imagine. Straight into the first round. It's actually a long push from these CTs, and the Ts are set up in playground to deal with that. Trades going back and forth. It's only a 1-for-1. Zan's lost a lot of HP as well, so I feel like Ts have definitely got the best of that, especially taking control of this toilets area with some of these CTs. Cello could make all the difference here, though, if he's able to find the right timing coming up behind here. Oh.
There you go, KNG, getting tagged down to 33 HP. Bomb should be planted here. No, it's denied. Cello with the perfect timing, but he is without eventually their existence doing the job. Body playing close, gets a dink, but can't find the second onto KNG. So now on the 1v2, Horvey and KNG last alive for INTZ. And it's all up to existence to try to finish this one off. And finish it off, he will do a great job so far. So the bomb is down in the eyes of Horvey. He doesn't have that body armor though. He's got a smoke and a defuse kit, but with the USP at range, he might have the advantage. So 32 HP for existence. It's looking good for INTZ to take the round. But there's still 40 seconds remaining. An existence, he's found 2. Might be able to find yet another. Picks up the USP, gets the reload off. And it's not going to be heard by Horvey, but he goes for the jump peak. Existence barely missing the head there. And as the wide swing comes out, who will come out on top? Horvey fighting, but to the death. Existence comes out there with the 3K and the first round of the match for G2.
Yeah, good job from them there. They really did a good job from Playground denying that long push from INTZ on the CT pistol. It's something that we don't see too often. Usually something you'd see out of a team like FaZe going for those pistol push with the USP towards long and fighting Playground like that. You've got to be pretty confident in that USP aim if you're going to go for a play like that. And INTZ is a team that I wouldn't be too surprised if they were confident in their aim. Definitely some talented players on this roster, that's for sure. Now, G2 got to be on the MD code. They're just taking their time here. Nice to see INTZ not go for the force, because Overpass can be hard to make it work unless the Ts are going to actually go into some closer lines like Con, but it's actually going to be a Playground rush.
Decent trades here. Smiths with the Galil in existence, finding one of his own, but Phelps giving up his position. Horvey at the top of Con. Going for the repeat, but that Mac 10 is going to be the superior weapon for the job there. Smiths as well taking Phelps out of the server, and that is a second for G2. Minimal loss there as they will be buying up or upgrading those weapons into the third, as INTZ is going to buy 4 M4s and an AWP as well.
I'm keen to see how INTZ goes in this matchup. I'm really rooting for them to make a good accounting for themselves, because this is probably the biggest stage that they've played on thus far as a roster. I mean, they've had a lot of time to develop in the Pro League, and we've seen some great performances out of pretty much everybody across the roster on INTZ online in the Pro League season. Even though they did struggle a little bit in terms of the overall standings, they're able to do well enough for themselves to make their way through the finals here in Denmark. But now we will see whether they're able to go up against a team like G2. It's going to be the long control from them. They flash into the bathrooms. Body taking his time over towards that playground and party area.
It looks like INTZ aren't too phased by this either. Pretty much giving up the A site, letting Phelps take point and look for all the information. But as long as they keep that bathroom control, it will deny a lot of map control from G2. So even if the bomb goes down, the retake should be, I wouldn't say easy for INTZ here, but look at this body in a great position. KNG just not going to quite be spotted there. He gets the frag, but the trade comes out. Now body not going to check his flank. Zend bringing it back to the 2v4. And here's that retake we were talking about. Existence going out on top, getting the spray down, but he's only got 3 HP. And with that nade, beautiful utility usage. Kenny S now last alive in the 1v2. The bomb is not planted for him. He will more barely come out on top, but the 2-man face is going to be enough. There is a kit in play, and the defuse will still be enough. I don't think he's actually got the kit. Oh, he's got no kit.
No, they didn't have a kit. That's why they went for the double face.
Yep.
Weren't feeling confident enough in terms of how long that would take that bomb to defuse. But without taking that round off of INTZ there for G2, I was going to say their money was struggling a little bit and they might have to think about a save, but they're going straight into the bite without a second thought there. Existence going to go for the P2 with the armor and lots of utility. Smith's going down to the Mac 10. The others will be okay getting the AK, but lack the utility a little bit. So it'll be nice to see if G2 go for a little bit more of a straightforward round, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Going to be a quick one towards
forward,
B.
down monster. W's aplenty, utility everywhere. Now this has been stratted before, and it looks like Horvey, great position here to punish. Bomb goes down, as does Smiths, and he's looking for more. Finding it on the body, almost another on the Shocks as well. Trades eventually coming out. Cello finding the 2K of his own. And Existence last alive, unable to do too much damage with the P250 there, getting KNG out of the server. But 3 rifles saved for INTZ, and a second round for them on the board.
Yeah, good stuff from them. That's 2 in a row, and they're going to reset G2's money a little bit there. Obviously, the Monster Rush not working out too well for G2. They had to go for something a little bit more straightforward in that round because they lacked a little bit of utility on some of their players and obviously didn't have the best of weapons. You want to be able to make that Mac 10 and that P2 work in some closer range angles and just try and aim duel earlier on or trade out and maybe upgrade those weapons later on if the Mac 10ing and P2 players were left alive into the later piece of that round, but just shut down by good positioning around the pillar there, as well as great counter flashes coming out from the CT to deal with that Monster Rush.
Yeah, beautiful placement of that HE grenade as well. Body already down to 22 HP. Shutting Existence down, but Shock falls as well to Cello. KNG finding yet another on to the opposite AWPer. Smiths with the Deagle. We'll find a bit of extra damage, looking for more, going a little bit wide there, but Cello crouched and ready as INTZ take that lead. 3-2 in the first match of the best of 3.
Yeah, I mean, INTZ have been having some pretty clean rounds here, Mac, which is going to really start to build up their economy for a lot of the players there. So it's going to be pretty hard for G2 to start to chip this one away. It's all going to start with this round, though. Pretty decent buy for them. Not everything that they might have won. No AWP on Kenny as well. Let's see how they're going to make this one work, what the approach is going to be, whether they're going to go for a bit more of a default standard round, because that play into B definitely didn't work out well for them. INTZ shut that one down pretty convincingly. Looks like they're going to go for a bit more short B control, and Shox is going to be the point man here. Will the flash be effective? Not even going to come out. It's going to deny the aggression. It's actually Cello putting a bullet in his teammate's head, and there's the flash from the T's.
It's a little bit of a misplay there from INTZ. Too hot on. Too much team damage, but KNG just can't connect there. Tagged down to 33 HP. Phelps standing right at the ready with him and going for the wide swing. Just can't connect. Smiths will punish him. Now, there is a one. Oh, it's actually the 2v4 on the big side here. Zand just managing to find the angle on existence.
I was about to say there, Mac, look at G2 put the brakes on in the 4-on-2. They realise, I mean, there's been a lot of pressure towards B. They know the rotates are coming out from the CTs, so they just slow things down. They know if they just play the map and they play the numbers, they try to rotate correctly, they will be able to put themselves in a favourable scenario. Unfortunately, Existence gets caught a little bit early there, which is going to make things a little bit more difficult, but should still be totally fine as long as they don't give KNG too much to work with there. Don't even give them an opportunity to open up a pick, although someone who's been given an opportunity is Shox over here towards the truck in a forward position.
And also Bogdan's Law as well, 9 HP and KNG with the AWP in hand. Can't quite get any damage off through default there as Kenny, you know, planted in the right position. Xando trying to make his way up. Con will have a 1v1 here, but Smiths comes out on top. Spraying him down eventually, and KNG now looking just to save the AWP. Knife out and silently making his way down to the B site, but the hunt is already on from Smiths here, all the way into short.
I'm not sure if they necessarily want to take the AWP off of him as much as they want to be able to secure an AWP for Kenny, because they won't be able to invest in one for quite a while. Kenny's been looking pretty decent on the rifle though, so I'm not sure G2 are too phased.
But
Be able to recover that. Shox does pick it up as well, so that's a huge win for G2 there. They take it off KNG and give it to Kenny. It's pretty much as big of a swing as you can talk about. So now G2, they've definitely put a big hole in his economy now. They've been forced to full rebuy into this one, all the way down to $0. I take that back. Cello's got 50 bucks. He can buy himself a nice dinner for all the lads if they keep it to strictly $10 a piece.
Supersize HSP, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe like a medium Macca's meal or something for everyone. Not bad.
Oh, 2 family meals.
Yeah. All right. Look, now we're talking, Mac. Unfortunately, though, probably going to be thinking a little bit more about how to win this round with the limited utility and money in general being a little bit lackluster. They got no Molotovs to shut down any of these rushes. They're going to have to be relying on the AWP to be getting some magic going early on, or the good crossfires and counter flashes coming out, but Kenny looking to open things up here, walking out monster.
But that shadow might give you some position away. Manages to get the shoulder through the wall there. Horby, though, over-aggressive with such low HP. And Kenny finding yet another.
That's beautiful stuff from G2. Existence was turned already for that counter flash, and he's able to punish the push out. And Kenny falling back. The second flash doesn't affect him, and he's able to trade back as well. So covering each other off perfectly there, Mac. Couldn't be asking for anything more if you're G2. And again, they put the brakes on when they're in the man advantage scenario. They don't want to decisively just push the knife further in. They're going to leave it there and see if they can find a better angle of attack to more consistently be able to close this round out. But not only that, maybe potentially make it a little bit more clean of a kill than previously.
So much map control. Clearing all of B and then going all the way through bathrooms and long. Off to KNG now to try to do as much damage as possible, but he is going to whiff and stuck at sign. He does want to get aggressive towards long as well. Body taking his head off. It's off to Zan to try to hold. The rotates come out already, so he helps in a 1v5, and he can't connect anywhere near enough bullets as G2 take the lead back into their little half there, 4-3, and setting themselves up for a 5th as INTZ's economy is now all below 2K.
It's a great job from G2 to get straight back into this game. I mean, INTZ, they came back swinging after G2 took the first couple of rounds there, and they were able to get things rolling a little bit, but that's the CT economy for you, especially when you're investing in AWPs and all the utility and such. As soon as G2 is able to win some pretty decent rounds, INTZ is forced to save again, and now they're going to have a bit of a think about what they want to do. G2 is winning some pretty clean rounds here, so their economy is starting to boom. They do have the Kenny on the AWP. And we'll see what they do. It's nice to see G2 with this sort of approach. As soon as they get an advantage, they put the brakes on and they really start to rotate back around the map and try to look for an avenue of attack that's going to increase their percentages of winning. You know, it's more of a mentality of not how not to lose rather than how to win more, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, exactly. So, just using the knowledge that you've accrued over many, many years and schooling the, I guess, younger guns that are sort of coming into, not even coming into the scene, but sort of breaking out into the international competition.
I mean, some of these French players started so, oh god.
Hitting clips.
He loses the AWP, which is a bit sadder.
Oh, it's alright, KNG. He didn't do much with it before, and he's up on the ladder. The no-scope, full-on RNG play. But he will be shut down here. Shocks fighting Horby. Now KNG, last ditch. Can't hit the shot there.
Ladder movement though. How are you going to hit him?
Oh, who knows? Up and down, all around, and that AWP will be saved by existence and handed back off to Kenny as G2 find a 5th round. And here's the hold in con. Kenny with the nice angle there, getting the collateral and hunting for more, but just couldn't connect with that Tech 9, which is a bit skew-whip. I haven't really been, you know, enjoying that gun much lately.
It's pretty good. I like the changes. I don't know if it's enough to take me away from my beloved CZ, but maybe we'll give it a little bit more time.
I'm still all about the P2. P2, great gun.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. Love me some P2. This time G2 going to be taking things a little bit slower, a bit more of a default approach, but I mean, I say that it is a default approach, but the pacing of G2 is just incredible at this point. They've got party control. They're really putting a lot of pressure on toilets already. KNG's got no AWP to be able to contest a lot of those angles earlier on in the half. So G2, the rate at which they're getting map control is going to put a lot of pressure on INTZ to fight for this toilet area or to be able to push at some other point in the round. Kenny's going to wallbang Zand for a little bit of damage there, and this boost is going to potentially be able to catch him off guard if he's able to overextend a bit more. But G2, they're just so fluid with how they move around the map as a team thus far. Really going to be keeping INTZ guessing.
Oh, they went for the double boost on sandbags early on, but INTZ did not find any damage with it. G2 trying to hit the B site now. Cello holding close on short. Shocks coming out of Monster will find himself the 2K Phelps falling at the hands of the experienced gamer as well. Now Horby down to 20 HP, may just fall back here. Looks like we might see a double boost at the bottom at lowers. And Zand with the UMP trying to come in from connector. But look at this, G2 just giving up nothing, jump peeking. They have been spotted. Kenny as well, just edging towards short there. But now with that, the jig is up and Smiths is trying to do as much damage to lower as he can. But in con here, he's not going to be checked. Zand will find himself a free upgrade. Shutting the door, but not quite going for the gun just yet. Kenny, yes, takes but Shocks look lurking, waiting. Just can't connect though. Shots. You know, the line was good, the lineup was there, but a little bit of RNG with the AK bullets just denying him any extra damage. So G2 now doubling the score of INTZ 6-3 and looking to continue to increase that as INTZ's buy this round will be a little skew if there is going to be a force coming. Oh, no. It's
like a half buy around the 2 rifles that they saved, which is pretty sensible if you ask me. A couple of years ago, I don't think you would have ever seen anything like that from Shocks, but it's present day. Still, it's more than good enough for G2 to be able to be in a strong, firm lead in this game in particular. And it just seems the way that they're moving around the map, they're completely out-rotating INTZ, they're completely out-teamworking them, and it doesn't seem like there's much INTZ are able to do. I feel like the approach from INTZ really needs to start to quickly adjust into, we need to aggressively be taking these aim duels and enabling some of our talented aimers to get into the game a little bit more, set them up for success, and be a bit more disruptive to G2's playstyle thus far on the T side of Overpass.
KNG in the perfect position. It is actually going to be cleared by Foddy, who goes for the jiggle and will come out on top. But Phelps with the CZ, eventually getting the trade. Couple of bullets left in the clip, and will find himself a second onto Kenny. So now the man advantage is in favour of INTZ. Shock's in a rough position, and the CTs know that he's here, but the bomb should be planted successfully. Existence, though, holding his wit as he pushes through Bank and finding Cello. So back to the 3v3. There might be a little gap on the edge of the smoke there over the top. Shocks, look at this positioning, though. CT's making a huge amount of noise there as well. But Shocks is going to be cleared. Spotting the shadow, though. He did have the advantage. And now G2 with the man advantage as well. But Zand just pulling the AK out in time, bringing it back to the 2v2, but the CT's making the call and looking just to save the AWP and the AK as they head over towards Fountain.
Yeah, that's going to really bolster up their economy a little bit more. KNG's not going to have to buy himself the ult. They might even go into the double. Not sure how effective it would be going up against this playstyle from G2, because the rate at which they expend utility to get map control and the precision which they use that utility to grab certain areas of the map, whether that be the short area, whether that be heading over towards bathrooms on A or flashing themselves out long A and into bathrooms like that. Seems to be that they've got all of their I's dotted and T's crossed thus far, but I feel like if you were looking at some more aggressive setups where INTZ were really pushing as a unit together and being able to trade off some of those areas of the map, I feel like that could be pretty successful for INTZ up against G2's playstyle so far. There you go, Shock's flashing two of his teammates out of that door area, and they're putting a lot of pressure onto INTZ on short B. I feel like they're trying to force INTZ to expend some of this utility on the B bomb site, but it's just not being done by INTZ. Feels like G2, they're putting a lot of pressure on and trying to fake like they're rushing into the B bomb site and trying to force out some of these counter mollies or smokes, and INTZ is just not biting whatsoever.
Yeah, and an early pick there onto Shocks as well. KNG getting aggressive towards Monster. And I'm not sure where Shocks completely was. I think it was Deep Monster. But just could not outrange the old man on the AWP, who's had a slow start. KNG still looking to connect. All four of the G2 players looking to pressure the A site now. 50 seconds remaining, so they could go back down to B yet again. Not quite sure if they're going to commit here. The rotations have come out. Phelps finding existence, but Smiths gets the headshot onto Zand. So INTZ still with the man advantage. And G2 changing that completely. Body is so damn sharp, finding the two headshots there. The rotations have come out from INTZ already, trying to make their way out to the truck. Cello and Horby both shut down. Kenny and Smiths on the frag train there. And G2 8-3, 5 in the lead on the T side of Overpass.
Yeah, now INTZ is going to have to think long and hard of whether they want to invest their money into this round. I mean, Zan can definitely drop one. KNG could drop a rifle, two, maybe a FAMAS or something like that. Wouldn't be the most fantastic of rounds, but they definitely need to start getting themselves back into it. The problem being that G2, they've just had such a strong run after those first couple of rounds where INTZ were fighting back after G2 took the pistol. Ever since then, G2's been in complete domination mode. They've got money for days. Seems like everything that they're doing more or less works, and INTZ needs to have, it feels like, a change of approach entirely and just go straight into that mode of fight together and disrupt G2 from this sort of approach, because it feels like G2 is being allowed to do everything and anything that they want to do, and they're able to walk all over INTZ in every part of the map. That last round, even when things went decently well for INTZ and they got the man advantage, you know, one of the G2 players able to spin things back around and they're still able to make it work.
Yeah, G2 just seem to be out-skilling INTZ at the moment.
Out-skilling them, out-teamworking them.
Just making all the right decisions at the right times. INTZ just can't catch a break. And let's see if the 12th round is going to change any of that. Not with a whiff like that from Zan. So Body once again finding yet another frag. Shocks. Oh, can't connect there. There's the 2-tap. And Cello. Oh, it's actually going to be Phelps to find the 2K. But Kenny S, look at this. He's always pre-scoped, working these angles. The man is a gamer. He gets the body shot, but it must have been through the edge of the wall. Cello gets away with his life. Phelps burns down and falls to Smith's molly. And now in the 3v2, Horvey, he's down to 49. Oh, it's 3v3, sorry. Cello barely alive there. Didn't even see the little bit of blue on the map. Horvey, you can't do that, though. Whiffing so bad onto Smith's and existence. He's up on the toxic barrels, but KNG pre-scoped in short. The flash comes out, but Orpa v Orpa, Kenny, such close range. Wanting to push, but it looks like the save will come in. KNG does not want to give up the AWP, as the money will be in the bin into the next round for INTZ and G2. They've locked a 9th down, just showing their form.
It's a really cool way to be able to highlight the difference in philosophy for G2 with how they play these man advantage situations on the C side versus how things are when they're down or they're even. You know, when they're up on those 5v3s, they slow things down, they try to retake some more map control and give themselves a higher percentage chance to win the round. But when they're down those man advantages, they take risks a little bit more. You see Kenny going aggressive and trying to find the pick in that part of the map. Where they lose the pick and they know the doors have come out from the CTs, they go looking to trade those players or find those players in the positions where they know where they are. And then they try to resolve the round in that way. They go and they take those fights. So, I mean, that's pretty much the kind of fundamental approach you really want to from many teams that you don't often see nowadays. At least it doesn't seem that straightforward overall.
But when you're as good and as experienced as these G2 players, you know, you can take those risks, and they generally will pay off a little bit more, more so. INTZ, you know, they're not really holding the crossfires you'd expect, and the crossfires that they are holding have just been split up completely by G2. Bit of a team flash, I believe, coming in there from G2 as well, as they contact play towards bathroom. Zand, though, should spot the shadows. He's found one, but a great trade from Body. Will leave KNG solo at long, but that's worked out for him for the moment. Flashing over bathrooms, but looks like Phelps has gone down as well. The smoke here breaking contact, but KNG is pre-scoped. And if Body goes straight through the smoke there, KNG is going to have no chance, and Body will yet again open up the A site. 3 for him so far, setting himself up for the ace as the bomb starts to make its way towards the A site. But Cello and Horby, they've had a rough start. Can they find anything more? Here's the lineup, Cello with every opportunity. Kenny S taking a couple of bullets, but the Molotov finishing off Cello there. And Body will find the 4K eventually with the wall bang onto Horby. 10 rounds for G2, 7 over INTZ at the moment.
That's just beautiful communication from G2 there. Body just waits in the smoke for the flash to secure the kill for sure. Comes out and he's able to completely crack open that A-bomb site once again. Just the impact from this man on these gun rounds. Seems like he's able to crack open any part of the map that he wants to. He's so solid on that trading. Good to see from him.
He's just so sharp on the rifle, isn't he?
Can be a bit hot and cold, depends on the day. But when he's on, he's on.
He's bloody on today, I tell you. It's 5 AM here, but it's scorching in the server. Anyway, Zand will be playing at close range with the MP9. Everyone else pistols. Flash comes in, trying to bait some over aggression. Body once again at the ready here with the rifle in connector, but slowly working his way up. Pulls out some utility. INTZ don't take the opportunity, but look at this Phelps on the other side of the door, and as the contact comes in, Zand will actually come in on top there with the old double dink onto Body, but Kenny S, he's looking for the trade. He's hungry with the boom boom stick, but he's just going to hold the angle, waiting for the rotations. INTZ, though, they're too fast. They've already made the decisions.
I feel like G2 should have a pretty decent chance to convert this 4-on-4, and that's going to be a big break. If Phelps gets that kill, it puts a lot more pressure on G2 to be able to group up and just go and hit a bomb site, or for maybe Shox to walk out short or Monster much earlier and try to take a bigger risk than he might have needed to before. Now G2, they're going to be able to just group and resolve the round in a fairly sensible manner. They might be split up, but they're trying to hit things together, make sure that they'll be able to trade and be able to pressure different angles at the same time. They've lost short B control though, which is going to make things a little bit harder. There's no way for them to be able to flush Cello out of this position. They don't have any more utility to be able to do it, but Kenny getting that pick is going to put a lot more pressure on him.
Oh, but not if Cello hits shots like that, and there's the frag that they needed. Existence just killing everyone. So he is last alive with 20 HP. INTZ did try to get aggressive, but with only 10 seconds remaining in the round, G2, they had to try to force a plant. It was a rough scenario, but I'm not sure if INTZ made the right decisions just then.
Yeah, perhaps not. I feel like
Cello could have stayed at Sandbags.
Yeah, definitely. It's just hard to say for INTZ. I feel like this entire half, it's like been back and forth. They put themselves in some decent positions, but it feels like G2's really come to play so far in this map. And I mean, they chose to pick Overpass, a map that haven't seen for a while out of a team like G2. Definitely trying to expand their map pool a little bit more. It's going to be tough as well on Mirage, which is a team that famously in the past a lot of French teams have sort of neglected playing a little bit more. There you go, Smith's another pick for him over towards that party area. He's been pretty money from that area of the map. Going to be difficult for him to be able to clear out KNG, pushing up on his angle there. Feels like a lot of the time KNG been consistently able to find kills, but how much impact has he really had? It's been pretty neutered by G2's pacing and how they're really grouping up. When they hit things, they're hitting it for the win. They're not just randomly going to take map control and allow KNG to be able to open up the round.
Yeah, you really can't let the Orpers get away with everything here, although the timing just not going to go KNG's way at all. And Shocks will find Horby to close out the half 12-3, and that is a marvellous showing for G2 on their T side here on Overpass. It's looking rough for INTZ to try to come back into this one, but I guess time will tell as we go into the second half.
Yeah, it feels like they're kind of just... how would I say it? It's not quite autopilot, but it's more like sort of just they're going through the motions of what their game plan is. They're playing pretty quick over on the side of G2 in terms of the moves that they're making. There's not a whole lot of waiting around. They might not necessarily right at the start make the decision of how the round's going to actually end and whatever the decision is that they're trying to make to win the round. But there's a lot of quick decisions being made in quick succession, like we go take toilet, now we're moving back towards B, or we're moving down con, now we're going to take short B. Like, it seems like they're doing a lot of things all at once in one round, and usually you don't see that kind of pacing from many teams in Pro CS nowadays, because it's pretty hard to get away with a lot of the time. It's pretty hard to go and take different areas of the map in quick succession and go quickly make different decisions and not be punished for it and not run into different roadblocks.
Well, it's very well thought through. You can see it in G2. They're just stratted, they're ready to trade. They always have an answer to the question, right? When they're put in a situation where, you know, man down, multiple men down, they're just, hey, this is a very good percentage play. Let's go to this angle. We'll hold this angle as long as it's clear. We could potentially catch the CTs peeking it because it's a very common angle for them to peek. Anyway, we are live in the second half. What you wanted to chime in?
Well, it's not just as a team, it's as individuals as well, which is the real money thing. There's a one-for-one trade again. This aggression towards A with the USPs.
Ooh.
Previously, I feel like we've seen a couple Shocks clips where he's pretty much killed the whole team with the USB. Won't be the case today, unfortunately. It's going to be man advantage for the terrorists. Not
a lot you can do when you get double dinked by Zand there. Perfect couple of shots from the Glock. But Kenny S at close range outside of Con. KNG's opened the door, but Kenny was so ready. We'll shut that door, said, no thank you. I do not want any of what's for sale to date. But in the 3v3 existence, look at this, the man. You're just getting so aggressive at long bathrooms, shaking around like an absolute maniac. It's clear for the moment, the timing just not favouring G2 this time, but the information was there, and the rotations have come out. So, looks like Kenny S and Smiths are all the way up on the A site, but the rotation back down will come in accordingly. Phelps slowly making his way out. Monster just jiggling, but that will allow G2 the time to rotate all the way back down. Smiths at long range there. Can't connect, not just yet. Kenny S will eventually be finished off, being previously dinked by one of the INTZ players. Now Existence coming up short, just looking to deny the plant, just can't connect, flicking around. He's got a couple of bullets left in the clip, and that will be that. Existence finds one, but a fast trade from Cello will allow INTZ to finally find a fourth round, and that will be their T-pistol going in their favour. And can they convert this to a few more?
Good decision making in the late round part of the pistol there. Just three players heading over towards that B side of the map. After a lot of fights over towards A, they just moved together as a team and closed out the trades in the later part of that round. Very sharp shooting over towards that B side from some of these INTZ players with the Glocks and the upgraded pistols that they picked up off the CTs.
Oh, but the flash coming in, and here comes the USP push. Smith's finding one, but Cello picks up the double. KNG taking down Kenny S as well. Now it's all up to Shocks here, trying to hold. He is going to be shut down. Existence at long find a frag with the deagle onto KNG, but INTZ, they know exactly where the final man is, and they are going to run at him. So this deagle will be allowed to have an opportunity, but not for long. Mid to long range with the MAC-10 Zan, $600 extra in the bank. Now those dollary dues are starting to rack up for INTZ, but going into the 18th round, G2 will be buying as well.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if G2 can actually close this one out, or if they're going to have a little bit of a struggle. I'd say INTZ are going to make a bit more of a run back into this one. When we saw this G2 lineup sort of come back together and they were playing for their first couple of tournaments, we saw them run a couple of really dominant T sides, especially on Dust 2, where they're able to have some pretty big leads and some pretty good runs, just running a pretty set game plan, sticking to what they know is going to work. And when things work out for them, they can have a really explosive sort of 12-3 lead. But can they really make the same sort of things happen when they have to play as individuals on the CTX side and rotate around play off of each other? Sometimes can be a little troublesome for them, and I think that's what they're going to encounter, because INTZ are definitely no slouches on the T side.
Oh, but the aggressive play at Monster will find the first frag onto Horvey, and if they continue to push, they might actually find the body. He's holding W. This could be the play. He might actually catch KNG off here. The timing favouring INTZ for the moment. Yeah, was almost over in existence. Fully blinded. Zand will come out on top with the MAC-10. You saw him panic spraying, just hoping to keep himself alive there, but could not connect enough of those bullets. Bomb slowly making its way all the way through long, but Smiths is allowed to make his way up con and find Phelps, who is untraded.
That's a huge kill for him to get, because it's going to open up a little bit more space for the body. The problem is he's just sprinting everywhere, but Zand hasn't heard him. Land sound, a classic case of it, but he's been able to turn around and readjust. Body's given him the opportunity, rather. INTZ aren't rushing this bomb plant either. Kenny, though, he's been so patient over towards Bank and pops up from the dumpster to even things up.
With the laser beam trying to hold Zand though with the cover, and Smith's coming in from the exact same position. The T's are just not aware at all. The cover was almost there, but the fast little wide peek from KNG just managing to catch Smiths off guard, and that's a 6th round for INTZ. So in the second half, it seems like INTZ have already doubled their rounds and looking to just increase that lead.
It's a classic case of, you know, the terrorist model planting the bomb and then quickly strafing off the bomb side after he comes out from that crouch position, and, you know, limbs flail everywhere. The hitbox just pretty much goes out of the atmosphere and there's no way to hit him. What can you do?
Well, you can always try. And try G2 did, unfortunately for them. The timing just didn't really go in their favour. INTZ just hitting the crucial shots that they needed to.
Springs up like a jack in the box. Bit of a rip.
That's it. Now, Existence has been shaking a lot in this second half. I mean, he's a little bit nervous. Look.
I don't think Existence is capable of nerves. Like, he's been playing too long. I don't think that's a thing.
Maybe he's back on the bandwagon, you know?
Yeah.
He's got something to prove. It's lower bracket, do or die. There's always going to be nerves that could potentially get to you. That or his sensitivity is just very high, you know? Always a factor too. But now we do see INTZ slowly making their way down bathroom, completely silent for the time being.
They did this last round, remember? They completely clotheslined Shocks, just walking all the way up A, and they've done it again.
Oh, but Kenny, yes, he will open up the round, finding Phelps there, who was trying to clear long for the moment. Existence eventually going to find himself the bomb, and just like that, it's all up to KNG in a 1v4.
The classic Frenchie pistols, can't catch him, can't count them out. No matter who's wielding them, always got to be scared.
Ooh, KNG deciding to face here. Almost catching the CT out with his knife in hand. But look at this. Shocks in con, denying the rotation. 20 seconds remaining. And it looks like KNG will be heading to this B site, knowing that one of the CT's players were playing so aggressively. But Shocks there, not going to be checked at all. Not much time remaining. That's it. Just the, what is it, Shoryuken? The...
I don't know, I'm not too familiar with the fighting game terms there, Mac. I'm a counter-striker.
You don't play Street Fighter?
No.
I don't either, but I still know it. I don't know. Anyway, big uppercut coming out there from Connector. But G2 finally on the board in the second half.
It's a painful one for INTZ to lose 4 short. Out comes the toilet smoke from Horvey. He's going to throw that one out pretty quickly, and Phelps is going to combine that with a flashbang to push your boy Kenny S back. Or who is that? I think it's actually Existence over there towards Playground, so that's interesting. And he's actually posted on top of com. What a nade, though, over towards short B. But KNG actually picked Smith. Was that on the jump spot?
I think so.
That's quite a difficult shot to hit. Not surprised that KNG's the one who did it, though.
Sharp gamer. Finally starting to increase the impact that he is having now in the second half. Existence still just playing aggressively at toilet solo, though. The rotations have come out from G2. 3 men down on the B site there. Kenny with the AWP actually starting to rotate back to A, and we see INTZ do a similar strategy to what we saw G2 doing previously, showing a lot of presence over towards B, expending that utility, and then heading back to A, hoping that a lot of that utility, you know, is not going to be used for the retake.
Here's the question, though. They're not being as decisive about it as G2 were in terms of, you know, just going and getting things done. And will they have as structured of a bomb site hit, get the right smokes down, or is it going to be more of a contact? There's the contact, and Existence peeks out, gets himself one, and Zand actually picks up his teammate. That makes it a 3-on-3 here. Kenny, there's the leg shot, and he gets long control. That's terrible for the T's.
But the timing on the jump there, Cello managing to pick up the headshot, traded out by Body. Now the 1v, make it 2v0. G2 finding that 14th round, looking to close out the first map. They've been doing a much better job at closing this one out than we saw Renegades do against Vici. But, you know, what do you reckon? Skill gap here. What's the difference between this one and the previous matchup we watched?
Oh, I think it was a much bigger one in the previous matchup. I think INTZ, skill-wise, definitely matches up to G2 in the current day. The only difference is that G2's, they're completely out teamworking them. The individual decision-making is a big factor. Some of the positions these G2 players are putting themselves in, T side and CT side, obviously Existence up close there in balcony getting the info. You know, you saw individuals from G2 through con with an ult by himself on the T side some of the time and still making it work. Like, that's a big difference between these two teams. It's the experience factor, it's the decision-making, it's not the skill gap.
Oh, but look at this. 2 kills with the Molotovs here, just absolutely shutting down INTZ in toilets. Existence with the 2K. Kenny finishing KNG off with the HE grenade. And look, just like that, 3 kills with utility that round, just knowing that INTZ were on the Glocks and are looking to try to take it to overtime. I don't think they can do it, honestly. Not anymore. At the start of the game, yes, but G2, they have just looked so good here on Overpass, and it's good to watch too.
Yeah,
always
definitely.
love an
I think this is what can happen sometimes, you know, and this is what it's good to see. I mean, in the last series between Vici and Renegades, you know, we saw 2 maps that both teams are pretty comfortable playing. In this one, you're seeing G2 go onto Overpass, and INTZ are clearly pretty uncomfortable. Yeah,
they're not really playing their game, as we saw earlier. You know, G2, they are definitely in control of the momentum this game, this map. And I wonder if they can continue it on into Mirage. I guess, you know, it's not over till the fat lady sings, and I haven't had my karaoke yet. So we will see if Kenny S can make an impact here in bathrooms. Horby opening up towards the B side there onto Smiths, and another on the edge of the smoke there on a Body.
Love that. He knows that's a one-way. He gives it a nice pre-fire, and he's rewarded for it. Big brain, Horby.
But now INTZ got the man advantage. Can G2 bring it back on the CT side? We saw them do it on T. But INTZ, you know. Oh. Well, there you go. So Kenny, he's found himself the angle. Phelps just leaving himself open to a beautiful shot from G2's AWP there. But Horvy's coming out on the B site here. The rotations early for G2, but Kenny S, look at this, just denying KNG any sort of map control, any sort of rotation.
And that's it again. It's the individual decision. Kenny's just pushing bathroom, getting the info, taking control of the game. He ain't afraid.
Not afraid at all, but Zand almost doing enough damage. The nade, though, will finish him off. Peeking with the flash. Horvey trying to take a risk, but in the 1v3, the CTs don't seem to know where he is yet, even though he showed himself. But now Kenny posting onto Monster. How's the angles? How's the timing? Existence so damn sharp here, taking Horvey down, and that will be that for the first map here tonight between G2 and INTZ. So 16-6, 10-round lead for G2. Look at that right at the end of the game. 22 frags for someone. Didn't actually spot who it was because we swapped back to us.
That's
beautiful
Existence
faces.
on top.
Was it?
Yep.
No, but he had 20.
No, he had 22.
Was it? Oh,
Yeah, Kenny had 20, I think.
Well, Kenny was
Regardless,
on top with 20.
I don't think it matters too much. It feels like G2 overall, just the better team. They had complete control of how they were running that structure. It felt like they were completely out-rotating, out-teamworking, and definitely the individual decisions when things were getting a little bit tough in some of those situations for G2. They were able to bail out their team with the individuals, you know, pushing certain areas of the map or making certain plays, knowing what to do, whether they're up in advantage and just playing the high percentage, or whether they're, you know, down 3v5 and pushing and taking some risks. It seemed like every move that they made in that map was working out for them.
Yeah, even just the off angles they were playing based off of like small pieces of information just kept on finding them very large openings as well, especially on the CT side. It's not even openings, it's just closing the door, as we did see Kenny do on that second half pistol as well. You know, many great plays here on Overpass, and great to see a lot more action as we do start to head over into Mirage.
Yeah, and you can't really take anything away from INTZ. You know, they might not be too comfortable on a map like Overpass in a best of 3. Might not have even expected it, like the peak of Overpass, to come out from G2 in a best of 3 series. Might have been a bit of a surprise for them, so should be pretty interesting to see how this one develops. It felt like INTZ, they never really had the opportunity for their individuals to actually power up and play their game on Overpass. That entire time it felt like G2 was kind of out-rotating them. They were trying to run into some disadvantageous situation, like on CT side, they're trying to rotate into a bomb site that G2 swindled their way into, or on the T side there, you know, they're down a man advantage, or they're getting flanked in a weird position from G2, and never really felt like they could get things going, and it definitely didn't feel like the individuals were able to feel comfortable and be able to step up and get the firepower that we all know this INTZ roster is capable of going.
Yeah, well, hopefully going into the second map, they have had enough time to warm up. They have had enough time to figure themselves out, and they are definitely ready to frag harder.
Yeah, so coming up after the break here, we're going to be going into Mirage between INTZ and G2. Should be a pretty interesting map. Let's see how it goes.
One more time. Are you ready?